Have you ever noticed that there's an invisible army of people who, without realizing it, work every day to sabotage their own financial future? And worse, they not only sabotage themselves, but also try to stop those around them from prospering. It's like there's a collective mental programming, passed down from generation to generation, rooted in phrases like, money doesn't bring happiness, born poor, die poor, or a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. These seemingly harmless phrases are true psychological chains that keep millions trapped in scarcity. And you know what's the cruelest part? They don't even notice it. They defend these ideas as absolute truths, attack those who think differently, and mock anyone trying to change their life. Deep down, the fear of leaving their comfort zone is stronger than the pain of living without money. Today, in this video, I'll show you how to identify these lies, how they might be blocking your financial life, and the real path to break this cycle. If you're tired of hearing excuses and want to truly open your mind, hit the like button now and subscribe, because this video will shake your beliefs and might be the turning point you were waiting for. Fear of being judged by your own community. One of the main reasons why poor people defend ideas that keep them poor is the fear of social rejection. There's a silent pressure in families, neighborhoods, and among friends for everyone to stay on the same level. When someone tries to stand out, prosper, or simply think differently, the community reacts with criticism, ridicule, and exclusion. The fear of becoming the arrogant one, the show-off, or the traitor stops many from seeking more. They prefer to defend mediocrity rather than risk being rejected. The most dangerous thing is that this behavior often hides behind seemingly well-intentioned advice, cliches, and warnings from those who never had the courage to try. Those who grow up in this environment learn to fear success because they know that the further they go, the less accepted they'll be in the group where they were born. Envy disguised as concern. When someone close starts to prosper, it's common to hear advice like, be careful not to crash and burn, that's cheating, or fast money isn't good money. Most of the time, this isn't genuine concern but envy disguised as advice. It's hard for those trapped in poverty to see someone close break limits and achieve financial freedom. Instead of being inspired, many prefer to undermine the other's motivation. Defending limiting ideas becomes a way to try to pull down those climbing up to the same level. Those who don't notice this pattern end up absorbing that fear disguised as warnings, giving up on projects, and continuing the poverty cycle. It's necessary to filter whose advice you accept and understand that many opinions are actually disguised resistance. The belief that money is for bad people. For centuries, especially in religious cultures and unequal societies, money has been associated with evil. The old saying, money is the root of all evil, has been repeated so many times that it became an absolute truth for many. People who grow up with this belief associate wealth with corruption, greed, and dishonesty. This creates a mental barrier that blocks any sincere desire to get rich. After all, no one wants to become a bad person. Unconsciously, these people sabotage opportunities, avoid learning about finances, and attack those who prosper. Defending that money is dirty or unnecessary becomes a way to protect their own lack of resources. Meanwhile, those who understood that money is just a tool continue building wealth and gaining freedom. The illusion of security in a fixed salary. Another destructive concept, fiercely defended, is the idea that a steady job is the safest path to financial stability. For decades, our grandparents and parents were taught to value a formal job contract as a symbol of security. But the world changed. Today, companies close overnight, mass layoffs are common, and those who depend solely on their salary are vulnerable. However, people trapped in this model defend traditional employment as if it were the only honest and safe option. They fear entrepreneurship, investing, or creating other income sources because they're afraid of losing the little they have. The financial comfort zone becomes a prison disguised as stability, where the idea of risk is seen as irresponsible, even though staying put is the biggest risk. Blaming the system or others always. A common pattern among financially limited people is to look for external culprits. The blame is never theirs. It's the governments, the bosses, the economies, the families, or the circumstances. While pointing fingers at others for their situation, these people fail to take control of their lives. And those who don't feel responsible don't feel able to change. Defending these ideas is a way to avoid the discomfort of recognizing that, in many cases, their own choices and beliefs are the main factors keeping them trapped. While those who prosper understand that obstacles exist but act despite them, those stuck in poverty prefer to justify their stagnation on external factors. This behavior creates a cycle where nothing changes because change is always someone else's responsibility. Popular phrases that block the mind. Money doesn't bring happiness. Born poor, die poor. And a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush are phrases repeated for generations that shape a scarcity mindset. The problem with these expressions isn't their literal content but the mental programming they cause. By accepting and repeating these ideas, people limit their ambitions, choices, and attitudes. They come to believe that dreaming big is dangerous, that seeking wealth is a sin, and that settling for little is wisdom. Defending these phrases is, in practice, defending their own poverty. And worst of all, those who try to contradict them are often seen as arrogant, naive, or greedy. But in reality, it's these people who, by breaking with these sayings, end up conquering what others spend their lives saying is impossible. Resistance to new knowledge. People who stay poor tend to reject new knowledge about money, investments, entrepreneurship, and personal finance. They avoid topics they don't master for fear of feeling incapable or thinking it's not for them. They defend the idea that the financial market is for the rich, investing is too risky, and studying money is a waste of time. This behavior keeps them trapped in basics. Work, pay bills, and survive. Meanwhile, those who break this barrier and decide to learn discover possibilities that once seemed unreachable. Defending financial ignorance has become a way to protect themselves from the discomfort of realizing how much they could be doing, but aren't. A culture that values suffering. There is a mentality that values suffering. The idea that those who work hard, suffer, and sacrifice are more dignified than those who earn money with intelligence or ease. Phrases like hard-earned money is more honest reinforce this culture. Poor people often defend this concept because they learned that suffering is noble and prospering easily is suspicious. This belief makes simple opportunities, efficient strategies, and scalable businesses look suspicious. Those who maintain this mentality cling to suffering as a symbol of morality, not noticing that this narrative keeps people busy and without time to think about how they could get rich in an intelligent and strategic way. Survival mentality instead of growth. Many poor people live with their heads programmed to survive, not to grow. This means their financial decisions revolve around paying bills, clearing debts, and maybe having a barbecue on weekends. They don't think long-term, don't plan to increase assets, don't organize to invest, nor consider ways to generate new income. The focus is always on today, on the immediate, on the urgent. This mentality makes them reject ideas of wealth building because it seems too distant, impossible, or unnecessary. By defending this thinking, they remain trapped in a cycle where the priority is not to sink, instead of thinking about how to get out of the water. Meanwhile, those who adopt a growth mindset use whatever money they have today, no matter how small, to build opportunities that will free them tomorrow. And that vision difference is what marks the line between those who get rich and those who stay scarce. Attachment to small wins as if they were the peak. Another very common pattern is excessive attachment to small financial victories. Poor people tend to celebrate modest achievements intensely, like buying a new phone, a used car, or financing a big TV in installments. The problem isn't valuing these wins, but defending them as if they were the peak of financial life. This creates a comfort zone disguised as success. While they celebrate buying a popular car or a vacation in installments, they stop seeking real growth, solid investments, and financial freedom. Defending these small wins as the limit prevents the person from seeing a much bigger world of possibilities. By settling for little, they close themselves off to opportunities that could completely change their reality. Distrust towards those who got rich. There's a strong belief among poor people that those who got rich only did so through dishonest means, scams, or insane luck. This distrust makes them defend the idea that getting rich honestly is almost impossible. So when someone appears teaching about investments, entrepreneurship, or financial strategies, the immediate reaction is suspicion. This prevents them from learning from those who truly prospered and opening up to legitimate opportunities. They see the world through a lens of distrust, and any chance for growth is discarded before being analyzed. This mentality closes doors, blocks relationships, and pushes away chances that could transform their lives. Meanwhile, those who prosper know that, although exceptions exist, most wealthy people built their wealth with strategy, study, calculated risks, and financial intelligence. Belief that wealth is not for everyone. Finally, perhaps the most limiting idea of all, believing that getting rich is not for everyone. This belief has been reinforced by generations taught that everyone must settle for what they get. They defend the idea that only a few chosen ones can be rich, and most must accept poverty or middle class as an inevitable fate. This makes many people never dream about wealth because they don't even believe it's possible for them. They defend poverty as if it were an identity, a safe place with no risk of failure because they never tried. Breaking this belief is the gateway to real change. Those who stop believing in this limitation begin to act differently, seek knowledge, take risks, and finally open paths to financial freedom. Because wealth isn't for a few. It's for those who decide to break the programming and create their own destiny. If any of these ideas popped into your head while you were watching this video, congratulations. This is the first step to breaking away from beliefs that keep you stuck. Poverty isn't just in your bank account, it's born in your mind, fed by culture and reinforced by those who don't want to see you grow. Today you have the opportunity to choose. Continue defending ideas that limit you or break these chains and build the future you deserve. And if you want to leave a mark on your life, write down this quote from Napoleon Hill, author of The Thinker Gets Richer. Whatever the human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you believe, then build. If you doubt it, someone else will build it for you. Did you like this content? Then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who also needs to hear it today.